Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to Ocarina Tells People They're Going to Die, the game. Let's continue. But come nightfall, they will return to Akiba like a victorious army laden with spoils, and the streets will be chaos. I know Daru has gone to Kamima. The question is, has Mayuri? I hope she has. I want things to be normal again. I remember what I heard yesterday, the feelings Mayuri expressed at her grandmother's grave. The events of the last few weeks have affected her as well. After I escorted Mayuri home from the cemetery, I spent the whole night racking my brain for a third option, a way out of this mess. My thoughts were a jumble, ideas coming and going too fast to judge which were right and which were wrong. But of course, there isn't a right choice here. For in the end, it always comes back to the same question. Who do I let die? And no matter how I try to dance around it, the answer is always the same. I can't choose. Is there no one else who can make this decision? No. Even if there were, I'd know I'd never accept their choice, whichever it happened to be. Oh, I forgot. Someone told me a good idea to do might be, once Ocarina makes his quote-unquote choice, even though we are locked into our ending already. Once he gets to that point, I should probably try to set the text to auto, so that I don't accidentally skip anybody's, voice lines. Which I think I will, I think I'm definitely going to do that if I can pick up exactly when it's happening. Probably when I start noticing things being really weird that I don't remember, that's when it'll be. Once again, I'm heading for the roof of Radio Kaikan. I had to get out of the lab. Mayuri or Kursu might return at any moment, and I can't face them now. I look up at the sky. The clouds are dark and heavy. It could start raining any minute now. It already looks like it is. I thought that I was alone, but someone was here before me. Kursu is lying in the middle of the roof, arms and legs spread as if to making a snow angel. The image of Kursu in a pool of blood flashes through my mind. Is she alright? I run towards her, but before I make it halfway, she suddenly sits up and turns to face me. What a dumb thing to say. Fortunately, it looks like Kursu didn't hear me. She's busy combing her disheveled hair with her fingers. I breathe a silent sigh of relief.
そっか。ここだとあんたと会っちゃう可能性があること、忘れてた。
何をしていたんだ？
考え事。
そうか。
Was she thinking about her death? I'm thinking that might be a yes. I don't know what to say, so I keep my mouth shut. Kursu appears to be in the same boat. She's staring at the capsule toy dispenser in the corner, her face wearing the usual frown. The awkward silence drags on. When you think about it, Kursu's fate rests in my hands. My decision will determine whether she lives or dies. Her fantastic hypothesis yesterday was a desperate attempt to construct a scenario where she doesn't die. Even if she believes that theory is correct, it must be difficult for her to avoid imagining her own death. I force a smile. I'm getting really uncomfortable here.
邪魔になっているようだから、俺はもう行く。
Darn. I was expecting a sarcastic remark like, "Since when do mad scientists have manners?" or something. Just then, something cold lands on the tip of my nose. When I look up, raindrops start landing on my forehead. An evening shower. It's only going to get more intense, and quickly. Kursu hasn't moved a muscle. She's just standing there with her arms folded, staring at the ground as if she doesn't notice the rain at all.
おい、雨が降ってきてるぞ。
She's acting strange, like her mind is elsewhere. I don't know, maybe on her death? I knew it. She's been thinking about... In less than a minute, the rain turns into a full downpour. We had no time to seek shelter. Kurisu's scream is drowned out by the roar of the rain.
Hey. It's starting to rain.
Don't tempt the sky to gods, kids. Now, safely inside the building, we take a moment to catch our breath. It's been a week since Suza's time machine disappeared, but Radio Kaikan is still closed. The lights are off, and it's pretty dark inside. That's your fault for not paying attention to normal things like rain.
右に同じく。この暗さに助けられたな、助手よ。
どういう意味？
もしラジカンが営業していたら今頃お前のあられもない姿が多くの人間の前にあらわにされていただろう。
Even in the dim light, I can tell that Kurisu's scrambling to cover her chest.
あんたも変態だってこと忘れてた。
You're such a perv! Hey, it's not like I was trying to ogle you, okay?
自分から下着までびしょ濡れだと申告しておいてよく言う。
これ以上口聞かないで。下着の色とかよくも妄想したな。許さないから。
妄想などしてない。
She's too self-conscious. But the color of her underwear, huh? Gotta be white.
冷えるか？
だから脱いで乾かせって？ふざけないで。変態の手に引っかかるもんか。
Well, thank goodness for that.
誰もそんなこと言ってないだろう。少し落ち着け。ま、たとえ服を脱いだとしてもこの暗さだから案ずることはない。お前の貧相なヌード姿は誰にも見られることは。
それ以上喋るとあんたの大脳新皮質をポン酢につけて高級料亭で提供してやるんだから。
I don't know what that is, but it sounds delicious.
すまん。
Please, spare me that horror. Still, these quiet wisecracks are a welcome distraction.
夕立ちならすぐに止むわよね。それまで待つか。
I've thought the same thing and it went on for 8 hours once. I see Kurisu's shadowy form move to sit on the staircase. I sit next to her.
なんで横に？
These aren't your stairs. Anyone's allowed to sit on them.
なんで？
喋るなと言ったのはお前だ、クリスティーナ。
あんまり近くに来ないでよ。今ぐらいの距離が限界だから。これ以上離れるとは言わないけど、これ以上近づいたら押し返すからな。
Our bodies gradually grow cold. We start shivering. Maybe I should take off my wet clothes. Ocarine, remember the YouTube thing. Remember the YouTube thing. But if I do that, Kurisu would just call me a perv again. Better not. My eyes gradually adjust to the darkness. I can see Kurisu more clearly now. She's huddled up against the wall.
こっち見んな。
バカな。この暗さでは俺がどこを見ているかなどわからないはず。
Does she have infravision?
やっぱり見てたのか？
Darn, she used leading question on me. That's such a high-level technique. I avert my eyes from Kurisu and take off my lab coat. That's when I notice my coat is torn at the shoulder.
屋上から避難した時にどこかに引っ掛けたか？
何の話？
いや、上着の肩口が破れかけていた。
岡部って ドジっ子だったの？
俺はマッドサイエンティスト属性であってドジっ子属性など持っていない。
It seems like forever since I've talked to Kurisu as Hoin Kiyoma.
はいはい。
Kurisu suddenly holds out her hand.
ほら、貸しなさいよ。
何？
ちょうどソーイングセット持ってるから縫ってやると言っている。
You happen to have a sewing set. Interesting.
ソーイングセットだと？お前が？
悪いか。
No. I hand over my coat as asked.
実験大好きっ子のくせにそんな家庭的なものを？
実験大好きっ子であると同時に家庭的な女の子かもしれないじゃない。
I suppose you could.
家庭的な女の子なのか？
相対的に見れば家庭的かもね。と言っても日本の女子高生の家庭的女の子指数がどれくらいか知らないけど。
There's an index for that? First I've heard of it. Kurisu skillfully threads the needle despite the darkness.
濡れてるから針が通りにくいな。
本当に偶然持っていたのか？
しつこい。そんなに私がソーイングセット持ってたら悪いの？
悪いとは言っていないが、まるで狙ったかのようだったからな。
つまりあんたが服を破ってしまうのを見越してあらかじめ用意していた。
Does she have reading Steiner too?
わかります。
It's the coat.
そんなわけあるか。それと勘違いしないでほしいんだけど、別に好きで縫ってあげてるわけじゃないんだからね。
出たな、ツンデレセリフ。
茶化すな。あんたが偶然服を破って私は偶然ソーイン
It's
グセットを持っ
coincidence.
ていた。
And then I just happened to have the initiative to go and start
それ
sewing.
だけ。
偶然ね。まさかお前タイムリープしているということはないよな。
つまりあんたが服を破ってしまったからタイムリープして事前にソーイングセットを用意したって言ってもらいたいんですね。わかります。
It's not the craziest thing I've heard all day.
そんなわけあるか、そんなわけあるか。大事なことなので2回言いました。アンダースタン？
確かに。わざわざタイムリープして対策を練るならば、ソーイングセットではなくタオルを用意しておくのが先だからな。
何それ、皮肉？文句ばっかり。
After working for a while, Kurisu cuts the string of their teeth, then hands me back my coat.
ほら。
ありがとう。
出来については暗くて確認できないけど、もし仮に出来が悪くても私の腕のせいじゃない。この暗さのせいよ、きっと。ちなみに糸の色についても何が出るかお楽しみに。
Great.
色もランダムなのか。
黒か赤かピンク。確率は3分の1。
I hope it's the black one.
せめてピンクが出ないように祈ろう。寒いか？
まあね。
俺の上着を羽織るか？
それだって濡れてるでしょ。
まあそうだが。
Silence again. The words flow so naturally when it's just harmless banter, but 1 second of silence, and suddenly we have nothing to say. It must be because of what happened yesterday. I'm so desperate to avoid that topic that nothing seems safe. I know I need to say something, but what?
結論は出た。
Her voice is barely a whisper, but I can hear her clearly in the silence of the empty stairwell. I look at Kurisu. She's hugging her knees to her chest, presumably against the cold. My decision. I know what she means. That's why I can't answer.
まだ悩んでるの？あんたって マユリのこと好きなんでしょ？
何？
Where did that come from? Kurisu keeps staring into the darkness.
ただの錯覚かもしれないけど、私の心の中に奇妙な記憶というかデジャブみたいなものがある。そこではあんたはマユリを助けようと必死になってて、一人で傷つきながらそれでも前に突き進もうとしてるの。
Kurisu too?
そんな岡部が私に相談をしてきて、そのひたむきに頑張ってる姿を見て、私もって別にあんたを助けたいって思ったわけじゃないからな。私はあくまでマユリを助けたいだけであって。とにかく私にはなぜかそんな錯覚が記憶のように残ってる。
So Kurisu's the same. She still has faint memories from previous world lines.
自己分析してみたけど、夢で見たものを現実と思い込んでるのか、単なる願望か、それぐらいの結論しか出なかった。ただこれだけははっきりしてる。あんたはマユリを助けるべきなのよ。
怖くないのか？
To save Mayuri, I must undo the current world line. If I do that, Kurisu will die.
なんだか廃墟に迷い込んだみたい。
Kurisu suddenly changes the subject. She looks around the dark, empty stairwell.
まるで世界中の電源が切られて、私たちだけ取り残されたみたい。
I mean, to be fair, no one's bothered to, try to fix the building yet, so it should feel a lot like that.
ふと思うんだ。もしあんたがベータ世界線に行ったとする。みんなも一斉にそっちに移動するとしたら、私だけは移動できない。私だけが取り残される。そうしたら世界中がこの場所みたいになっちゃうのかな。所詮これも仮説の一つだけど。
俺は
I need to say it.
お前も救う。マユリだけじゃなくてお前も。
できもしないこと言わなくていい。
Kurisu cuts me off sharply, then buries her face in her knees.
怖くないかってさっき聞いた。怖いに決まってるでしょ。自分が消えるかもしれない。自分だけが取り残されるかもしれない。あるいはあんただけがこの世界線からいなくなるかもしれない。誰もあんたがいなくなったことを認識してない世界がずっと続いていって、私は何事もなかったかのようにアメリカに帰るかもしれない。かもしれない。かもしれない。かもしれない。そんないろんな可能性を考えて、その度に絶望的な気分になる。でも
Kurisu raises her head and spears me with her glare.
だからマユリを見殺しにしろなんて言えると思
クリス。
う？もうなんか寒いな。
Kurisu grabs her own arms. In the darkness, I see her shoulders shaking.
濡れてる服着てる青年。たくダメだ。こんなの全然論理的じゃない。仮説にすらなってない。全部根拠のない妄想。こんなしょうもない妄想を垂れ流す脳の機能をカットしてやりたい。
Now, she's talking to herself in an angry tone. Kurisu has always been calm when faced with the unknown. I admired her for that. I thought she was facing this calmly too. But I was wrong. Behind her cool facade, she was struggling with... Behind her cool facade, she was struggling to cope with the knowledge that her very existence was in jeopardy. She was fighting that fear all alone, and now it has finally come to the surface. Of course, she's afraid. However brilliant she may be, she's still just an 18-year-old girl. Kurisu abruptly stands up. I realize that I no longer hear the sound of rain pounding on the roof.
聞いて、岡部。両方救うのは無理。そうでしょ。どうあがいたって確率は2分の1なの。
だが。
だがじゃない。私の結論は変わらない。まゆりを助けて。
I hear the pain in her voice, and also the resolve. Kurisu has made up her mind. I look away and clench my fist. My nails dig into the palms of my hand.
そう簡単に諦めろっていうのか。お前を見捨てろっていうのか。そんなのできるはずがないだろう。
できるかできないかじゃない。あんたをやらなくちゃいけない。
ダメだ。お前は俺たちの大切な仲間だ。
岡部。
Kurisu drops to her knees and grabs me by the collar. I gasp for breath as she stares into my eyes. Her eyes are hard and stern. It's always like this when she scolds me. Always the same glare.
他に解決策があるの？ないんでしょ。私はまゆりを犠牲にしてまで生きていたくない。もしまゆりを助けなかったらあんたを一生恨むから。
This can't be happening. I hate this choice with no right answer. I hate the universe for being so cruel. And most of all, I hate myself for forcing Kurisu to speak these words when she is the one with the most to lose. Tears well up in my eyes, but I bite my lip and hold them back. Is there really no other way? I can't bear it. I look straight back at Kurisu as she holds me by the collar and tightly embrace her slender body. Her clothes are still wet from the rain, but all I feel is warmth radiating from the core of her being.
お前はここにいるのにこんなのあんまりだ。
ごめん。
Tension drains from her back and her hands. She gives her whole body to my embrace.
ありがとう。私のためにそこまで苦しんでくれて。でももう十分。私は大丈夫だから。あとはまゆりのことだけ考えて。
Despite her fear, Kurisu has made her choice. It's time for me to do the same. I need to decide here and now the future of the world. Which friend to let die? Holding Kurisu tightly, I whisper into her ear.
すまない。
A meaningless apology.
俺はまゆりだけはどうしても救いたいから。
These words are a death sentence, but I force myself to speak them. It takes every ounce of willpower I possess.
お前を助けられない。
When I finish, I feel as if a great weight has left my shoulders. and at the same time, as if 1,000 needles are stabbed into my heart. Kurisu weakly returns my embrace. Then, she lets go and stands up.
さてと、
There's already a look of relief on her face.
先に帰る。
帰るって、どこへ？
To America?
ラボに決まってるでしょ。服を乾かさないと。シャワーも浴びたいし。
In that case, we should go back together. But before I can suggest it, Kurisu beats me to the punch, as if she read my mind.
あんたはそこでずぶ濡れのまましばらく待ってて。わかった？
We can't go back together. That's her verdict.
わかった。
I hang my head and shut my eyes. Kurisu's footsteps fade into the distance. I wrap my arms around my body. Even though it's summer and swelteringly hot, I can't stop my body from shaking. I realize that part of me is relieved that Kurisu left alone. At least I won't have to face her again, to look upon the face of the girl I chose to die. I'm a coward. My self-loathing echoes in the darkness. And with that, we're going to stop there. Anyone who's actually beaten the visual novel, let me know if that thing right there where he said I choose my Yuri, does that count as quote-unquote the choice? I know we're already on the path, but I'm just curious. If anyone has a rough estimate as the amount of time left is what I'm wanting to know. Because I want to do that, I'd hate to skip anyone's dialogue, especially here towards the end, so putting it on auto text sounds like a really good idea. But I don't know how close we are to the My Yuri end, if that makes sense. But we're going to stop here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. And next time, I'm guessing we're going to proceed forward with deleting the message information from CERN server. I think that's what we're doing. Should be lots of fun. I'm quite excited. Thanks for watching. Bye! Help, I'm running out of save slots. I can't believe it. I've almost used 80 of them. What the heck?